we were talking about, oh yeah, that album, Camp. Shit was dope. Kids for sure was hitting. And then also, yeah, I was just tripping on, maybe not tripping on, but just kind of reminiscing and looking at the thought and idea of like, this is like really, I fucking loved this album when I was like coming up. And I was looking forward to this album so much. And this was kind of like a fork almost in the road of internal philosophy to a degree. And like the theory and like the coaching philosophy tree of life that I sort of adapted to, because I remember this or that album had dropped like the same day or the day after, the weekend of Drake dropping his second album, Take Care.
Take Care, huh?
Yeah, they came out on the same weekend. And I just remember thinking, I like Donald Glover, or like the idea of who that is in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like what player it is.
Yeah,
it's like I fuck with this player. I'll wear
more...
his jersey. I don't want to wear I didn't necessarily want to wear the Drizzy jersey because I felt like it was like everyone was wearing that jersey.
Yeah, we've definitely been a little. We don't like to like the guy that everybody likes just because everyone likes him.
Yeah, it's like we're super just like don't. I'm like, why is everyone getting pulled this way? It's like, I kind of want to go this way now. Right? There's too many people going that way.
Yeah, I feel that too a lot. Like, I never liked the Yankees or the Patriots. I always thought that was weird. If you lived in like Texas and you're like, I love the Yankees, they're awesome, or like Alabama,
diehard Patriots fan.
Yeah,
like, what?
Unless you're like born in that era,
yeah,
or that area. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I got that with the Lakers because I legitimately liked the Lakers, and then I would be in Texas and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a Lakers fan. Like, oh, bandwagon. I was like, oh, I'm from California. They're like, oh, okay.
Oh damn.
Fine.
Been whooping our ass the last few years.
I'll let you have it.
Same thing. People with Peyton Manning, they're always like, because the Colts were different in early 2000s. They were kind of like, I feel like the Eagles are now, where it's just a really good team. So a lot of people might jump on bandwagon, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I was born in Indianapolis. I lived right outside Indianapolis.
That's me.
Yeah, that's me. My parents were like there when Peyton Manning got drafted, and the city was like, we got a quarterback.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was like, they lived that life for real. So
that's tight. Yeah.
It's different. Like, I can't be a Cowboys fan the same. Like, I could, but even San Antonio, like, I have all the love for it, but it's just like not.
I'll never. Yeah, like I saw the Spurs. I believe it was last night. We got Wingstop, going into Wingstop, waiting for the order, and I'm just like watching the TV, and it's the very end, literally the last minute of the Spurs Memphis game, and the Spurs are down by 8 or so at this point. And I'm like, okay, they can make it happen. Come on.
I've seen Tracy McGrady do it.
I've seen crazier shit. And then they just proceed to lose. I was like, and I felt but like, so in that way, that all to say that I'm definitely cheering for San Antonio, and I could cheer for, I don't really have that with the football team. So like, I'm definitely more of a basketball fan, but even seeing the Spurs, like I love the city. I want them to win. I'm rooting for them, but I can't give them the same fanhood necessarily that I can to LA, at least for me. I guess some people.
No, I'm the same way. And I have a hard time explaining it to people. They're like, what? You just be a fan.
You just like them. It's like, I can't just do that, man.
I want to love a team. Like, you can like anything.
I want to give them a piece of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A piece of I have so much space. I only have so much hard drive. I can't just be giving out all my love gigs.
Yeah, right. For me to truly care, like, I'm really going to go watch the highlights, or I'm really going to read the news article, and I'm like stoked about it. It's just like, I can only control so much of how I feel, you know. Like I gotta meet myself in the middle sometimes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I'm like, what my heart cares about is like Anthony Richardson, right? Like, all of that news, I was hinging on that stuff. I'm like, my quarterback,
his quarterback.
So yeah, that's like that's sports talk.
Fanhood is crazy like that, or the idea behind fanhood. What is that? Like just rooting for somebody? Okay, what is that?
I thought about it a few times. Like, well, what are the reasons people develop fanhood? Like, why would you root for someone? And
you want them to win, and I guess subconsciously you want yourself to win because you see something in them that you want or admire in yourself, or something that you want to emulate one day.
Yeah, I think young kids see someone they want to be like.
Yeah, so
that becomes their favorite player. I think older fans see someone that they wish they were, or that they like realized I should have been more like that, or like I wanted to see this guy win more in the stories that I saw, but it was always this guy who I didn't. It was always Patriot Tom Brady winning, and so I like to like someone that is like a more of an underdog type, or maybe you are a Tom Brady. Like, there's some people that have just been like up like their whole life. You know what I'm saying? They were like, you know, there's just people that have been doing really well, and then maybe they relate more to Tom Brady. They're like, everyone hates me because I'm successful.
Yeah, and I feel like that to bring it all the way back, I felt like that with Donald Glover and Drake whenever they were dropping their albums, Childish Gambino. So I was like, I want him to win. I want to wear his jersey. And then I felt that subconsciously when I was listening to the album now as a 30-year-old. And I was just like, oh man, this is. And now I did empathize with him on that one song I was talking about earlier, Kids.
Keep Up.
And then I felt that through that song, and then felt that at a deeper level than when analyzing and looking at the thought of like, why did I like this album so much when I was in high school or in college? And then all that hit. And I was like, wow, fanhood's crazy, dog. So I love the Lakers, but I can't love the Spurs that much.
I want to. I want to. It's like one of those relationships.
I love them. I want them to win, of course.
Yeah,
but it's different when I see like the Lakers. If they were to play each other, like I'm moving to the Lakers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To a degree, when it comes down to like the head-to-head.
Yeah. I feel that way about any team in the NFL. It's not even there's not a San Antonio football team, but yeah, there's never a time where no storyline in the NFL.
It's going to make someone, make you want to lose?
Yeah.
The Colts to lose?
No way. I'll never root for the other team. Like, I don't care if they're a darling Cinderella story team. Like,
we're going to crush them. We're going to fucking make them cry.
42-0. Go back home. Start the buses.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. Like, the levels of fanhood.
Yeah.
The levels of what you attach yourself to almost to a degree, for sure.
And that's why I like I guess I also like having both things. Like I like having that like diehard kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like where you'll love something even if it's wrong. Like with the Colts, like it doesn't matter. Like it's just them over everything. It's simple. That's nice. Like you ever like seen your friend be wrong and you just still like defend the fuck out of them because that's your boy? Or like
happens all the time, I'm sure. Yeah. It's like a common thing.
Right? Or your parents, like not my dad, anybody's dad could like say something kind of like dumb and then someone's gonna like, you're gonna let someone yell at your dad? You're like, fuck no, bro, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Even if you like disagree with what just happened. That's the Colts for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's nice. That's like a certain kind of love, you know? Mm-hmm. But then like I get to be more like, there's a whole broad range of people in the NBA and like where they came from, what their story is, what they play like, what their personalities are like. So there's a lot of like open opportunity for me as a person to be like growing and evolving, to like attach myself to certain players in certain times, like what they represent to me. And then if I'm like, it's almost like if they're doing well, I feel like I'm going to do well because like I'm seeing something in them that I'm seeing in me. And then I almost feel like I'll just go there with you guys. I feel like the zodiac signs sometimes, the way like, oh, Virgos are up and Scorpios are down right now, or vice versa. Like the way, so like if a personality trait is flourishing in the community and flourishing in like the economics of Instagram, like its popularity is going off, and then I have that personality trait in me at that time, I feel like there's something to be said for like when you should fade things and when you should play things. And I see that in athletes when they're like if they're having like a really good season, or if they're just really popular with like America at that time, it's like, what are they doing? What do they have going on right now? Can I draw that same thing out of myself?
It's like Travis Kelce.
Yeah, right. He's like the most freaking popular athlete right now. I mean, I don't know, like in a long time.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say on the planet Earth right now, he's definitely the most popular athlete.
Right. It's maybe Cristiano gets crazy numbers.
I guess in the world, that's a different story.
In America for sure.
Football's big in America, but I guess soccer's much more big in a global context.
Yeah.
With Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah, they get like 300 million views, whereas Travis Kelce gets like 20 million views. Maybe 20 million went to 60 million. It's never been 300 million. I don't know how it goes. But Taylor Swift gets like 200.
What I'm saying.
She gets like 200 million. So he's at least 260 million. Might be right under Cristiano. Regardless. Yeah, it's crazy to think about that.
People should be popping off in regards potentially to whatever the hell's going on in the whole ecosystem as things align and disalign.
Right, yes.
We're all moving and shit.
Yes, like, and dude, for me too, like Jimmy Butler was a player that like, I really wanted to embody some of his characteristics and traits during the playoffs of last basketball season, because he was just like pushing through all the contact. I'm gonna try to win no matter what. Like no matter what I have to do, I'm gonna try to win. And then he was winning. Yeah,
I felt like that with Kawhi Leonard when he was popping off, winning one with the Spurs and then one with Toronto back to back.
Yeah, I
fuck with this guy.
I referenced you referencing him in one of your songs because someone was like, said like he can do both sides. He can play the bar and he can play the main dining. And I was like Kawhi, baby, offense and defense. You know what's up? Like I'm here. And that's you. Like you like the player that can play both sides of the ball. Yeah, and gave a lot of effort, fundamentally strong,
and his personality too. Yeah, he's like the quiet killer.
Yeah,
you don't talk much. He just gets fucking dubs.
Yeah, I can clearly see. Like I know that you identify with that character. You're like really good at that. It's like awesome. It's scary sometimes. It's a Bushido blade. It's like didn't even say a word. It's
For
tight. But yeah, so you kind of need Kawhi Leonard to identify that thing in yourself, right? And then to flourish it out in a way that's like appreciable
For me to know it more.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what like fanhood can do. Like, you see something in somebody else, and you can use that to explore a part of you as well.
Yeah. I think Jordan Peterson, or I saw something about Jordan Peterson mentioning that we have like, we see things in this world, and we see characters and movies and books and whatever, and we see like we can admire someone or we can despise someone, and there is like that's like kind of inherently built into you. Like if you just like watch things and watch stories play out, you have like an inclination towards something or somebody or a characteristic that somebody's exhibiting, or a way that they're a modality of character that they're exhibiting and being, how they're being. You can watch how they're being, and you can either despise it or admire it, or vice versa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess you should despise things you deem to be like unfit.
Slime.
Yeah. Well,
Doing someone wrong, doing someone dirty, doing someone in a way that you know the fucking other shoe's gonna drop, or you know that you're cruising for a bruising. Like whenever you see characters acting in a way, like, oh my god, come on, dog.
Yeah, well put.
Don't cruise for a bruise, please.
Yeah, that's so well put. It's just crazy, bro. It's like that's the crazy thing about stories. Like, so people will be in a position sometimes where it's like the best thing they can do is like almost like they're gonna end up cruising for a bruising because of the story. But then also there's like levels and layers. It's like even when a good character gets into like scary times, it's like if they can still be like, I think like karma's so real in movies and real life that if you just act shitty and then you get your next opportunity, you keep acting shitty, like you go downward and downward and downward. That's also what I'm trying to say is like slime might be appreciable to some people, but then like that's a downward trajectory modality. Then like I look at those people and I'm like, that's not good. And then because I put that as what's not good, that's putting me more upward. And maybe that's
I'm more inclined to at least choose the other fork whenever the opportunity presents itself to go down that fork.
Yes. Like I was watching Training Day last night. Freaking great movie. It's on Netflix. It's amazing. Ethan Hawke, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
It's like he gets to a point where like he was like right in between like cruising for a bruising all day, but he kept like trying to do the right thing, even though he was going down this crazy path of shit going on. And it gets to like a fork in the road where he's like potentially gonna die. And then because he had like done the right thing at one point during the day, like one of those points comes back all the way around and then like ends up saving him from being killed, more or less. Just right, isolated in that one moment. He like ends up like helping out the cousin of the guy that was gonna kill him. And then so the guy's like, wait, hold on, you were the person that stopped that? And he's like, yes. And then he's like, doesn't kill him. And I think it was the same thing. Like sometimes, like he probably should have left that situation a long time before he left it, but like staying there kind of kept him in the cruising for Bruisenville. But even though he was doing his best in between there, when it gets to those climactic points, the karma happens, and then our character is saved, or your character is shot in the face. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I guess the further down on the forks you go, whenever the other shoe drops, that shoe gets bigger and bigger. It gives more time to fall. It's like just increasing. This is gonna like Better Call Saul.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of too.
Just gets like you can't get away forever, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna pay the piper.
Yeah, you will. That's what that story. One of the major motifs in that whole story,
right?
Are we lit? I'm just like stumbling and I'm rambling. I'll be more professional if we do a little intro.
No, we're good. We're going to hop right on in because it's a MJ38 show, episode number 26. 26 of them things.
Come on. Emilio Ramirez. You'll always be 26 in my heart.
I love it.
You're the 26.
Love that guy.
That's my guy.
Shout out Emilio.
Legitimately, anytime I'm doing 26, I think of you, bro.
Boom. Broken ribs.
I'm getting a first down. I'm getting 2 broken ribs.
The one for two switcheroo, dig. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're lit. We're probably going to drop it whenever we were going in. We were just going in for a while.
Yeah, it's tight. Gotta do it.
We just pick it back up.
Yeah, fanhood. We don't have to leave that subject if we don't want to.
Because I was going to bring it all back again I loved listening to Childish Gambino's Camp album the other day. Just listening to it in the gym. Like it had Heartbeat on there, Bonfire. I was like, oh my gosh. These songs are going in right now. I love it. And I love that I loved these songs 10 years ago. Or however long it was.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about myself listening to some of the music that I like. Shake that body, body that body, shake that body. What song is that?
It's a new God flow.
Yeah, fuck everything else. I'm gonna have to bleep that one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, Kanye West is going in.
But I had my basketball team. I was lucky enough to be able to make the warm up playlist that our basketball team warmed up to in our layup lines for home games. And then that was like I think the first song on the playlist, and it just freaking was like first of all way too hard for a country high school. Backyard basketball game. Like we were like a 2A small town school, and we were bumping like the hardest song in the world at that time.
The hardest hip hop in the game.
Like now I kind of respect myself. I'm like, dude, like the music we were listening to back then it's crazy how we were still tapped into like current culture 10 years ago. Then here I am. I'm not even that different, you know?
Yeah. Kanye saying if you're a fan of me, you're a fan of yourself.
Yeah. That's like, what
I get it now.
Art does, fanhood does.
Yeah. The admiration and what was the other word? Admire and despise. Not the desperation, but the deeming something despicable.
There you go. That's well put.
Yeah, being able to despise and admire something and giving your fanhood to that. What do you want to be more like? What what character are you trying to embody and be?
Yeah, and I think
I fuck with Childish Gambino. I was looking at that. I was like, I love that. I fuck with him, and I can see why.
Yeah,
we're trying to do it all.
That's levels deep. I love that I am a fan of it. Like being a fan of someone's one thing, and then you like explored that territory all the way to the point where you're like, man, I'm so happy that's the territory that I chose to like explore and who I identified with. Because I'm glad
I got pulled by that.
Yeah, some people get pulled into stuff, and they're probably like, why? You know, later in life, they're like, I was kind of silly to like. I think people think that I'll feel like that about Michael Jordan. Some people, when they like Michael Jordan, it's about like wanting to be the best really bad. I mean, he does represent that, but it's like, I don't know. It's like almost Tom Brady or the Yankees too, where you just kind of want to project like dominance or project like this winning bravado or trying to like be something you're not in the sense where as like I see Michael Jordan and I'm just like, I want to be that driven and that competitive and that like, I will not fucking lose. I want that thing. I don't want to be like just seen as the top of the mountain to be seen as the top of the mountain, you know?
Yeah, I want to become the person who is strong enough to climb to the top of the mountain. I don't need to be up there. I don't need anyone to see me up there for me to know that's who I am or who I'm trying to be. Yeah, because I'm in love with the climb, baby.
Yes, I'm really trying to climb. Like I'm here to.
I'm looking at who's climbing the best. How are you climbing this mountain of life? You're climbing it really well. Fuck yeah! I want to get to the top of the mountain like that.
Yes, and I think that there's something about fanhood, like you said. Like some people's fanhood is misplaced, maybe sometimes. Like you're identifying with Drake because you want to feel like you're like in control. Or like you're above everything, or like people that want to be slime. I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Whereas like sometimes I identify as Drake, or I fuck with Drake, and what I appreciate about him is that like the music's so wavy, that the vibe's so there. He's super honest, and his bars are like laser beams when he's spitting like laser bars.
He could spit some sharp objects at you.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's disgusting. Like being able to make
at least we do. You know, some people might not even. It's different, I guess, for everyone, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
Sorry, what were you saying though?
Yeah,
it's about identifying with Drake.
Yeah, I think that that's why it's nice. You're like I appreciate myself for identifying with this thing, even as an adult. I'm happy that that's the path that I was on as a kid. It's not necessarily true for everybody. So that's why I think that's what makes it so appreciable. Or why you were having that moment, you're like, this is lit. Like I feel really good about that decision and choices I made and how things played out.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, let's fuck with that. Yeah, him as an artist and an actor and a writer and all that shit. Remember writing about him in college and like going to see him at Fun Fest, do stand-up comedy and a hip-hop show that night. Yeah, he was tight. He was
dope.
The whole thing was just unboxing itself to me. And I was like, man, I really fuck with that guy. And that guy's tight. That guy's dope.
Yeah,
and it still holds water today. And I guess he was doing some, I guess, now what's he doing? I don't think he's making too much music. He's making different music now. And it's crazy because that new music, I think it's just called 315, if I'm not mistaken. Really? The album where it's just all white.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even, I don't think.
It's all letters, or it's all numbers.
Right.
Yeah, the whole album is just numbers.
It's all numbers.
as in like the title of the album is numbers, and then each
track
is like not a name of a song. It's just like 43:16, and the next one's like 38.027. It's like all.
Yeah, and I think the only one that's not is called Algorithm. I think.
Word.
Yeah, it's called 3:15:20.
Right, that's weird.
And it's just a white square for his last album, and it's 0.00, and then Algorithm, time, 12:38, 19:10, 24:19. There's a whole bunch of numbers. That's it. So like, but yeah, it's crazy because I was fucking with Childish Gambino back in college, whenever that was, 10 plus years ago or so. And then going into whenever this dropped in 2020, 3+ years ago, almost 3+ years ago, 3 and change, it still like was able to hit me, and I was able to like identify. Now I could identify with him, like at this phase in his life to a degree. I was like, oh, he's taking some super mega multivitamins in his day. I tell you what, brother. And I think the things that he's seen and the things that he's trying to articulate to a degree in this album, or maybe just through his creative expression now, because this is much different than what was put out in college. For anyone who's listened to Childish Gambino from Camp and anything before that,
I like a lot of before Camp.
Yeah,
EP's amazing.
EP, Cul-de-sac
is great.
I'm Just a Rapper 1 and 2.
Yes. There were some songs that were like great weight room songs, like songs I listened to on the way to football every day.
Mm-hmm.
Songs I listened to like when I was sad about like the high school, you know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
But then it was way different at that point. That album came out when we were like 25, 26.
The 2020 album?
Yeah, so that's like 7 or 8 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Big jump.
Yeah, it's a lot different, but it's crazy. I guess now I'm even diving further into it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I really do fuck with this album, or not fuck with it, but I can see a little bit of what he's trying to allude to, I guess. It's like, it's like the fact that he had Time and Algorithm are the only 2 songs that are not numbers. It's like, that's what it is. There? I think to a degree, like life is producing the same way that Instagram creates an algorithm for you based on everything that you do. Life is doing the same exact thing. But like to a 1,000,000th degree, you know what I'm saying? With all your internal thoughts and dialogue, actions.
Go on.
Every thought you entertain, don't entertain, everything you do and don't do, say and don't say, choose to agree with and choose to not agree with, and things that you don't look at and things that you choose to look at, like internally and externally, create your life algorithm over time.
Yeah. Bold statement. It's not all crazy chaos. We're not thrust into situations and at the like benevolent will of things bigger than us. There's do we have control over our algorithm?
I think yes and no. It's like the habits.
I'll follow that. Go on.
You can build your habits maybe, or you could build the things that are reiterated over time. But it's hard. It's fucking hard. Damn near impossible. And I guess it's kind of that me saying that it's kind of impossible is tied to the idea and the fact, or maybe like the adage of habits are like chains that are, you don't feel them until you try to break them. Mm. It's like, so you can control your algorithm. Like how well can you break chains? And how well can you not get trapped in them in the first place?
Yes. Yeah. Clip. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
I feel you, Donald Glover. The more I look, the more I find. Oh, that was just like now.
Yeah, bro. I'm with that. The algorithm. I mean, I just wanted more to give you like pushback. I'm gonna be like, keep going. Convince me again. But like, I agree with you.
Yeah. No. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's much easier to. It's much easier to just say like, I got put here. Like life is not that I'm not in control of all this. But I think if we think about the statement that like now is a product of everything that happened before now, it makes sense to us like that. Like all of my decisions did lead me to this place. I guess there are some things out of your control. Like you got put into positions.
You can't control your parents. Can't control when you're born, where you're born.
Sometimes you can't even control like your temperament to a degree. Like maybe you just get too frustrated at work and you quit, and then it's like the next month, and now like you're trying to figure out how to pay your rent, and you're kind of fucked, and you're like, how did I get in this terrible situation? It's like you had control, but you don't have control. It's like both, and you know what I'm saying. But like you said, you can tap into a more than state where like, yes, I'm kind of like at the hand of what's happening now, but how good are you at breaking the chain or like rising above that thing?
Yeah.
That's its own stat.
Yeah.
Which you could have a lot of.
Yeah.
So as much as yes, can enable, like it's super easy for things to not be in your control. Really, that's the default setting is for you to like fuck all this up and keep finding yourself in bad situations.
Think that you're separate from this thing.
Yes. But then you can have control over the algorithm. Like you can take responsibility for what's happening around you and like your choices and your actions. And like you can put yourself in a place where you're like, yeah, all the choices I made and everything I sacrificed did put me here.
Yeah, it's like you can control your maximal output, or I guess your input for the influence. It's like I think we have maximum control over our influence of the algorithm, but ultimately I think God kind of takes the cake insofar as what the fuck goes on and what happens. But we could put ourselves in a position and place ourselves the best way that we can through our own influence, through the things that we can control, and we can input into the algorithm.
I agree with that.
Because it's like it's yes and no. It's like it kind of yes, you have complete control, but like ultimately you don't have any control.
Right? Yeah. I think that's that's why art is so nice because it shows us like tropotypical things. Like you can listen to a song and it like you relate to it, or you can look at a piece of art and you relate to it, or you understand something in it because there's something to be understood in it that someone else understood and then put it in a place where everybody's like, oh yeah, I go through something similar, or my life is kind of like that too, or not. Like there is something in the middle that we all feel like a commonality, and I think that's like the algorithm more or less. It's the fact that we're all algorithmized, or like under the constraint of algorithm.
Algorithmicized.
Yeah. And like that's why Drake can make a song where like there's 3 or 4 bars in a row where I'm like I'm really relating to it. Like how is he going through the same thing as me? Like how does that happen at all? Because if it's all randomness and we're all doing different random crazy things, like how is it that I can feel he felt that way about it and he's talking about how he felt this way about it and I'm like, yes, me too. Mm-hmm. It's like it's because I think we're all like aligned within having to deal with the algorithm together.
Yes. Yeah, dog.
That makes it more real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This isn't some crazy thought you have. It's like we're all kind of going through that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we all have our own whatever, Instagram, whatever that metaphor is, algorithm. Oh yeah, I moved over a little bit. But I literally remember thinking that like while scrolling through Instagram, and I was like, the things that are going to populate on this feed are going to be the things that I like and share and click on, and like all my reels, like all that's going to be literally a result of what I put into it right now. And then I was like, yeah, apply that. I was like, life is like that. The algorithm, like you control your algorithm, the habits you entertain and the thoughts that you continue to provoke from day to day. It's easy to repeat shit.
Yes. Well, but we're stuck in...
It's like a directional thing.
We're stuck in today's version of the tropotypical stories, combined with the fact that we're like, what you would have control over is like, your life is expressed in a story. It's like you can have your influence about like where you want to be or what you're choosing to do, but that's putting you in line to have a storyline where things are going to like come to you, like whether it be like good things or bad things or opportunity or heartbreak or like karma. It's like the algorithm, I guess, because what would you do with your life if it's like, okay, I have control over the influence of what's going to happen in my life. Like I have the power to do so. It's like, what would you do?
Like me personally?
Sure, because it's going to help with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would make a podcast with my boy. I'd make music like a fucking hip-hop juggernaut. I would just do me. And thank God.
Yeah, okay, heard. Okay.
That's about it. Work out a whole bunch every day. Same way I'm doing now virtually.
So that puts us in the archetypical... This is why we like Drake. We are living the archetypical story of what it's like to pursue being an artist. And that is a story within itself. So sometimes Drake's rapping from the perspective of someone who's been pursuing being an artist, and that's just like his life that he's rapping about, but I'm relating to it so heavily because it's like
the same story.
Yeah. And that's with everybody, I think. But just like not all the stories next to you are the same, but like in totality, it's like we're all going through relatively the same thing, or all the people going through the same thing as you are going through the same thing as you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel that at work right now. It feels like everybody that's going through the same thing as me is also like going through the same thing as me as far as their conditions outside of life.
Like how so?
Just because, well, like it's like we played a really tough game and everyone's kind of like beat up by the tough game.
Yeah.
Like everybody. It's like no one really got out unscathed. It's like
we're all tired.
Yeah. Everyone's like
we're all hurting.
And then you look at their life and everyone has like an additional modifier. It's like tired and this is going on. Like tired and this is going on. And then that's resulting in like it's like we're all kind of having a similar story play out, even though it's different in our lives. Like just like the stat adjustments, like the algorithm, the numbers. I think the numbers are kind of the same. It's like it's putting us all in this place, and I'm like, why are we all in this? Like we're all at our floor right now. It's like, well, why is that? It's like, well, you're all going through the same thing, and then I think that it's like you're all about to get to the same next thing, just because this is where you happen to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess all that's to say is like when the algorithm thing struck me, it's like I think it's really true. Like we do have an influence over what we like and what we share and how we use Instagram, but we don't have control over like the way that Instagram uses those numbers to create the algorithm. I think that's like the God part.
Okay, I love it. Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like that's the story. Like God is using like story to like function the algorithm.
To kind of show it to us.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I think that is. What
so we can see it.
Yeah. Because if we never saw like the play out of it, then we wouldn't really know if it was true or real or how to like wield it truly. You know?
How to classify it or categorize it.
Right, because we're kind of dumb. That's like a species. It's like a species. We're not super enlightened early in age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're all just grown up babies.
Like imagine babies being like Matrix. Yeah. Matrix, like mom, none of this is real. Like a 4-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, bro.
We got to get to that point.
Yeah, I think I think what you said resonated with me a lot for sure.
It took me a long time to get it out of my mouth. I'm sorry to the viewers too. You saw me work all the way around that thought. Yeah.
As long as we get there, baby, it's all that matters. That's what this podcast is about. Yeah, so fucking love Childish Gambino, dog. Love that I love him, which is cool. And this algorithm shit's crazy. You can't, because God's just trying to show us how the algorithm works, or the universe is manifesting itself in a way that's going to be giving you this information, whether you take it or not. I think if you...
And you take it regardless.
Yeah, it goes either way. It goes like through you, or like you're able to like wrestle with it.
Yeah.
Or it just goes right to the subconscious. And you should ignore, or I guess that's kind of like ignoring it, right? To a degree, if you're not like, maybe not ignoring it. I guess, yeah, if you do ignore something, where the hell does it go? back into the depths of your subconscious.
Yeah, you'd have to really like not see it. You know what I'm saying? Be blind to it. But it goes into your subconscious. You see it. You see everything you do. And then you respect yourself a certain amount based on what you've seen you do. Even if you don't address that or feel that every day, it's true. Because when you earn your own respect, it's something you do feel. You're like, oh, I respect me. Like, you have a different brass to your tacks, dog. You got a different stark to you. That's where that word came from. Is like there's like a like no, I know what's up about me.
The certainty. I remember seeing another clip. I'm not even sure who the guy was, but clip on Instagram about a guy talking about, I'm not sure how they were doing it, but measuring frequencies or measuring like vibration of like brain waves or thought waves or something along those lines. And he said the highest vibration of emotion. I think they're measuring emotions to a degree. I'm not sure how the fuck this is going on. Either way, the takeaway was that the highest vibration that they measured, which is higher than love, was authenticity. And it's like being who you think you are and being who you want to be to a degree.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to be on that frequency.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what made me go there.
Yeah, that authenticity of, it's both, right? It's like certainty and authenticity. Certainty, like, you know who you are and you're expressing that at the same time. Then and
it's a good thing.
Yeah, dude. That's like got to be the highest vibration. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's fire, dude.
Like identifying a high ideal and embodying it, or saying that you embody it and then actually doing it.
Maybe that's why praise and worship is so powerful. Because we're doing all three of those things. Higher ideal, God, I submit to his love. I'm literally
doing it.
Right? And maybe that's why it's so powerful in that moment.
Yeah.
Like auto frequency.
If it's genuine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Or at least trying to be. That's the place to do it. Shit. Where else? Fuck. That's it.
I agree. I mean, yeah, there's times where I feel God so heavily that my eyes water up in my real life.
Yeah, outside of the building. Yeah. For sure.
But that's not, that happens, like, it's circumstantially. But you go to church and it happens right there. Like, you can plan for that. You can't really plan for those other moments.
Yeah, it's part of the fun.
Yeah, seriously.
It's part of the magic. Is that, you'll have, I guess, before we got to live recording, you were talking about an instance where you like something happened and then you were able to connect it back and then connect it back into like a trilogy of like coincidence, coincidence, coincidence. And it was like, those weren't just 3 random things that happened in my life, day 1, 2, and 3. It's like you're able to see things and things play out but like in relation to foreshadowing and echoes, where something a seed gets planted and then you stumble on it and then it blossoms into a full fucking plant. And you're like, oh my God, I saw that. Okay, that was a thing that got planted. And then I did get reconfirmation and then a full confirmation of like, oh shit, those things were all in the same line with something. And then also with the echoes, where like that same sort of idea, but instead of before the story happening and like those instances happening upon himself, you'll see something and then be able to relate it back to like an earlier point in the story of like the movie. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And that gives it importance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear a lot of people say a lot of things every day.
And that's God.
Yes, that's the algorithm. There's a lot of posts out there. It's like,
yes,
you need to see this one. That's crazy, bro. Yeah.
There's a lot of posts out there.
I just fucked myself up with that one.
There's an infinite amount of things you can think.
Yeah, and that's to say, I hear a lot of things every day. I hear a lot of statements and sentences, like thousands, probably tens of thousands every day.
Things to say and ways to act.
Right. But
ways
like,
to be.
In the trilogy that you just talked about, like one statement, like held a bookmark in my head. Like I literally put a tack in it. Whereas normally I probably get rid of a bunch of that.
Yeah, 100%. You have so many tacks.
But the tack was, that guy's crazy. That was the tack I gave it. But regardless, I tacked it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then whenever the bump came up, I was like, I do have a poster for this. Like, I was like, I don't even know why I kept this one. And then like that's what made it so trippy. That's like life's a trip essay. That was in freaking Ethan Hawke, man. Like like that's what happens when they have their full circle moment. And
full circle moments. That's another word or phrase that we use to describe this thing.
Yes, people do use that kind of colloquially to like describe the thing we're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know why I have such a hard time enunciating. I had mimosas earlier. Maybe that's it.
Mimosa and a half. Mimosas.
He's holding me to a standard. I got to talk right. Yeah, that's what the guy that's gonna like shoot him is this Mexican dude, and then there's 2 other guys, and he's like, "You're not gonna kill him," and he's like, "Life's a trip." I say, "This is a trippy moment, man." It's like they were just expressing that.
Mm-hmm. The writer, or like the people in the show, and then the writer, movie, and then the writers of the movie. That's
what I was appreciating is how the author of the movie like took a moment to make that scene be like, "Isn't life is bigger than just."
A whole bunch of random things happening one after the other.
Yeah, and the wolf eat wolf protect the sheep. You got to be a wolf to lead the sheep. Like mentality that Denzel Washington embodies, which is like do the hard slime thing, you stupid fuck. He's like, no, you do the right thing. And then in that moment, like the trippy thing was he had done the right thing earlier in the day, and that saved him from the wolf's den, even though he was a sheep in that moment. And then it's like, how did he get out of that? He's like, life's a trip. Life's trippy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let him go. It's like he can't explain it to you, bro. What a day.
Yeah.
Like that. And then I was like thinking about the people writing why'd they take the time to do that?
And that's crazy that I guess partially I'm just like looking at it from like the perspective of I guess both people, like the actors or the scene of the movie, and then also the people writing that scene of the movie. But it's crazy that the writers chose to write that into that character, and that character is like the head of a gang, like on like some top of the slime shit, like Denzel, but he's able to like do like the right thing to a degree, even like obey a higher order that transcends laws and legalities and all that shit.
Whatever.
Because it was a good thing. Or he saved his cousin from getting killed or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, she got jumped in an alley, and he thought she was gonna get raped, and then he like beats the shit out of the homeless guys, and then picks up her wallet when she runs away. Then they've got him upside down in a bathtub, about to blow his brains out. And then he's like, hold on, take his wallet, and they pull out her wallet, and he's like, what the fuck? And then they call her up, and then she's like, yeah, no, like this white boy cop like saved my life. And they're like,
yeah, like why do you have this? Why do you have this?
Yeah. And he's like, I swear, bro, I can explain it to you. And then tells them what happened. And then like you can see in Ethan Hawke's eyes when he's upside down, he's like, oh no, hold on, like I have a lifeline.
Okay, get out of jail free card right here.
Yeah, seriously. And it was just like. Then he has to you're like, communicate before you get shot. And then he communicates, and then it's like, trust him. Like, make the phone call. And then he gets on the phone call with the girl, and then the girl's kind of lying at first. He's like, did you go to school today? Did you ditch it all? She's like, no, I went to school all day. I went to all of my classes. And you're like, no, tell the truth. Do
the right thing.
Yeah, the whole way down. You're like, come on. And then finally, he finds out the truth. But that guy was paid to kill this guy, regardless, by someone bigger than him. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, like you said, he does the right thing. Because, and that's the thing that, even in a culture where it's like, as twisted and as dark and oppressive as it can be, and where the only way to rise above it is to be the biggest wolf or the biggest slime, it's like there's a higher order at work. It's like there is a yin to the yang. Like, as much as that's the answer 90% of the time, like Ethan Hawke like wins. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He like didn't fold, and all he did was do the right thing. Like consistently try to do the right thing.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Worth it, bro.
It's crazy that the writers of the movie are trying to get that idea out into the world, and we're able to recognize it and be like, I fuck with that. I fuck with that part of the movie. I fuck with that a lot. I fuck with the fact that I fuck with that.
Me too. As we're talking about it, I'm like, I'm so cool. Not cool, but like, I fuck with myself for having that moment last night where I was like, this is like one of my favorite scenes in the movie right here.
Oh, shit.
I love the dialogue of like, life's a trip. He says it twice. He's like, life's a trip, essay. It's like, you're gonna let him go? And he's like, save my cousin, bro.
Life's a trip.
The other guy's like, this a trippy ass moment, yo. Like, and they're all just like a moment of them being like, what the fuck? We were gonna waste you, bro. But then the other thing is that like Ethan Hawke was kind of cool with them, and like, dude, it's fucked up, bro. Like, takes him to the crib, takes him all the way in, gives the guy the money for the thing, and then Denzel's like, yo, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be back in a minute. But then Denzel just leaves, and he had paid the guys to kill him. But Ethan Hawke doesn't know this for like 5 minutes, and they're like chopping it up with him, and he's like, they want him to sit down and play a hand of cards because they're playing cards. And he's like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm just chilling. He's like standing there, just like being hard. Just like, I could relate to him in that moment. He's like, I ain't trying to bullshit with y'all. Like, I'm locked in right now. And they're like, come on,
I'm
bro.
on the clock.
Yeah. And they're like, come on, bro. Like, we're not even playing for money. This guy's an idiot. Like, just sit down with us for a second, bro. He's like, nah, man, I'm good. And they're like, keep kind of pushing him, but they don't do it in like a hostile, like, they're like,
obvious way.
Nah, they're just like, bro, like, they really have like charisma. And then in that moment, he's like, all right, man, I'll play one-handed cards with you. And then like there's like a moment of like genuine like bar style conversation between the gang members and the dude. And he's like, when did you decide to be a pig, man? And then they laugh and they're like, I'm sorry, a cop. And he's like, I decided to be a pig 18 months ago, bro. And he like takes the beer or whatever, or like starts getting into it. He like settles into his hand, and they're like, okay, he's like kind of cool. And then he's like, how you
this
like
is a new
it?
shit.
Yeah, right. Like,
sorry, I can continue.
Just real quick, he's like, how you like it? And he's like, should have been a fireman. I'll take 3 cards. And he just like starts having some swag and some like, they get along for a second. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's like, because Ethan
he could do this dance. He could wear this hat.
Yeah. Yeah, what was the thing you were gonna jump in with?
I was gonna say like he's new to the being a good guy. It's like he decided to be a good guy, and he's like, oh, even whenever I'm deciding to be a good guy, I'm just like tripping on the fact right now that I'm tripping on this movie because it's like the introduction to I'm gonna be a good guy, and then there's high up people who are your boss who are the bad guy who exhibit that type of characteristic, and like he's like new into it, and he's like learning real quick that like there's I'm trying to do the right thing here by being a cop. We're trying to like maintain order at the highest level, legal and illegal. And even within this realm, there's a lot of people not doing it fucking right.
Yeah, and the people at the top of being the good guy ladder say you have to be a bad guy to be a truer, bigger good guy.
Yeah.
And like, am I wrong? Because it's the rookie part, it plays into it too. Because they're telling you don't know what we know.
Which is true to a degree.
Right? Like maybe it is like that. And then,
maybe you just decided to be a good person.
Right. And he's like suffering with that. You watch him like struggle to cope with that throughout the whole movie. I just realized unboxing this shit with you that movie is not about cops and robbers. Okay, that movie is way deeper.
That movie's lit.
Yeah, actually, I realize why it's so popular now because it's about higher order, right and wrong. What's a true good? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
so then he's playing cards with these gentlemen.
Yes, yes.
Being a rookie,
admitted
rookie. I guess is that the first time you found out in the movie? This is his first day on the job, right?
The whole movie is that it's from like 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. It's like one day.
24-hour span.
Yes. So like it is he's not a first day as a cop, but he gets put into like a special unit.
Undercover or some shit.
Yes, narcotics. Mm-hmm. So he's going from street bop to narcotics. And then that's like the whole movie is like, it's not what he thought it was going to be. And his boss is kind of fucking crazy. and he's got to like last through his first day, and if he doesn't last, then he's gonna have to go back to being a regular cop. And then, but at this point in the movie, he had just seen some shit. Like
towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, the shit like went down, and he survived, even though like they didn't know how he was gonna get out of there. And then he sees these guys, and like the thugs walk up to him, and he's like, at first he would have been kind of maybe afraid of the thugs or put on his tough guy act, but now when the thugs are like kind of mean mugging him walking into the house, he's just like
more stark,
like not even phased. Like, you ain't shit, dog. Like, I seen shit, you ain't shit, dog. Like, I ain't worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes are trying to get him to play cards. He's like, nah, bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I'm about my business right now. I don't give a fuck. And then they like get him to like loosen up a little bit, and he's like, yeah, man, I should have been a fireman. Like, at that point, he wasn't like a fucking, I'm a cop. That's why the dudes were like rocking with him a little bit, is because he was more like more human, way more human, like willing to connect with them. And then I think that's ultimately also why they decided to let him go whenever they did. I don't think they necessarily wanted to have to do him like that, because he wasn't like the guy that paid them to kill him. He was clearly not like that. Like, that guy was an asshole. Yeah. And then this guy, Ethan Hawke, is like not an asshole, like genuine guy. Just a genuine guy. And then they found out that he had saved his cousin. They were like, nah, dog, you're good. You're good with us. We're cool. You were cool back then. Sorry. It's business. That's what they say. They're like, it was strictly business, bro. I hope you're not going to like...
try to run up on us in the future.
Right? Like, I hope we can be cool after this.
Really squash this for real.
Right? What is that? What is that? Why do you...
Don't try to karmically swing back on me, man. Can we like just like cut the karmic swing back right now and not put any of your intention towards that? He's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. And that's what that movie's about. That's what that movie, and all of the karmic swing back was for the guy who paid them to kill this guy they fucked with, and then also the guy who was going to get killed by that guy. All the karmic swing back went that way because of how they played out, how it all story plays out. That's what I'll be trying to get to, alluded to. The story shit's nuts, dude.
This shit's crazy, y'all, and it's worth it to do the right thing. That's what we're a fucking bot.
Yes.
It's a bot.
Yes, it's like Daniel in the Lion's Den too, when he was like gonna die. I don't really. I guess I can't quote that story, but like doing the right thing.
Oh, sorry,
just
Daniel?
like because Ethan Hawke was like alone, frail, unarmed, vulnerable, rookie, and somehow he comes out unscathed. Because he was doing the right thing. Like, it's beyond worth it. It'll save you from unsavable circumstances, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it makes the impossible happen.
Boom, dog. That's it. That's how you make the impossible happen. Just continue to do the right thing.
Yes,
it's so hard. It's worth doing. So that means that it's worth... Because you can't do it... I guess you stumble towards the kingdom of God, you know? Like, you have to... It's worth trying to at least identify what the right thing is. If you don't, because who the hell are we to say we know what the right thing is about anything? You know what I'm saying? Except for people who've just tried their best to do so for a long enough time and have like consciously tried to gather as much info as you can.
I think part of it is yes. Part of it's that the right thing to do, as in like, how do I maneuver through this minefield? It's like, what's the right path to follow? Yes, that's the answer. But the thing about Ethan Hawke is like, he's literally a rookie. So he doesn't know what right or wrong is, but it's like a gut feeling. Like, he openly will be like, no, that's not right. Like, I know that's wrong. To like his boss, Denzel Washington. Like, all day they're kind of going back and forth on what's a right. Should we like for instance, they pull over college kids with weed. Should they take them to jail? Should they like give them federal charges?
Yeah, how much? And if so, how much or whatever.
Then they go to like the hood where they're doing like clearly illegal shit in front of them, but because Denzel has like a relationship with them, he's like able to do more police work. What's the more good there? And then like the last one, when he beats up the homeless people in the alley, should he take them to jail, or should he just like he just beat the shit out of him in an alley? So like, is that justice enough? And then Denzel like really beats the shit out of him in the alley, and then he's like, okay, if you want to take him, you can go take him. You can do the reports. You can get these homeless people in jail, whatever you want to do. But like, I do bigger work than this. This is not my fucking job. I don't bust tables. It's more or less what he was like. If you want to roll with me, you're done busting tables. Leave this table. And then Ethan's like, okay. So it's like, what's the right or wrong the whole time? You
That's crazy. Saying? I didn't even realize that. Or I forgot that. I guess Denzel was a part of that part of the movie. Yeah, where he saves the cousin.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, dude, that movie's fucking lit, dog. We're still just unboxing this bitch.
I don't know why I watched it last night either. Like, I didn't have.
I didn't know. Sorry, continue.
I didn't have the energy to watch a movie. I didn't have the time to watch a movie. I like, that movie's like a cult classic to me, but I wasn't fiending for it. I didn't see it and say, that's what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah. Where'd that even stem from?
dude, I just needed something to put on, and I was like scrolling. I've been in a gap the last week or so where I'm watching like Altered Carbon again, Traveler sometimes. I don't really got nothing to watch, and then it was just like recommended movie, and I was like banger, 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 banger. Oh, there's a lot of bangers on here. I was like Training Day, and it was almost like I know this movie well enough that I don't have to give it attention, which is kind of what I want right now.
Perfect.
I hit play, but then all I did was watch the fuck out of that movie, bro.
Glued.
And I don't know why. Like, algorithm. I think it got put in front of me.
That's so fucking funny because just what repopulated into my algorithm was the remembrance of something that I saw or something that I heard or maybe I read online or something, but it was in reference to Denzel Washington taking on the role of that character in that movie. And the only way that he would, because originally I believe the truth is that originally the script was supposed to end a different way. His character was supposed to live, but he would not be that character if the character lived. He like needed that character to die.
He was right.
Right?
He's right, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I remember seeing that. But it's crazy that all that shit, like, just, and we're just dissecting the hell out of this movie. That's crazy.
I didn't realize it wasn't cops. I mean, like, I didn't realize. Now, thinking about it, I'm like, obviously, when the writers were writing this movie, they had much bigger motifs in mind than cops and robbers, law enforcement, corruption.
Good and evil.
It's about good and evil.
At a depth, at an essence level.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because whenever they're both saving that girl, it's like the right thing to do. And then there's like even levels and layers within that to the depth and the nature, then the aftermath and how to handle all of that, what to think about it, how to procedurally go about it.
And he's basically like
trying to cut the corner every which way.
Exactly. It's like do the right thing to the purest, fullest extent, or cut the corner about it. And if that's the fork most of the time, it's like they end up doing like, he's like, no, pull over the fucking car. I'm stopping that crime. That's like fullest extent of doing the right thing. And then he's like, fuck that. I'm taking both these people in. I'm booking them all the way for everything they have, fullest extent of the time. And he's just like, Denzel's more or less like, you can't operate at this level if you keep doing that. Like, you're putting yourself at beat cop pace. We're not at that pace. Like, and I know what that's like personally in my own life right now because I'm experiencing that growth.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if I do too many small tasks and block, blah, 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 I don't get any big tasks done. And I'm in charge of the big tasks. So, like, I need to fill up my blocks of time with the bigger tasks, which means I can't do all of the minuscule things that it would require. But also you have to do the right thing at every turn. But Denzel was like, I mean, just the you must cut some corners to operate in this space. Like, that thing is real. Like, I'm contending with that literally in my life. And so it's like, what's the proper balance of that? I don't fucking know. You know?
Say that again. Like be the ability to delegate.
I guess that's really what it is. Because Ethan Hawke wants to do it.
Or the failure to do so.
Ethan Hawke wants to do it with his own hands, literally. And then he's like, "There's no one else here to do it." And he's like, "Well, you don't do it with your own hands, regardless. You need to walk away from it, other than wasting our time doing that shit." And that I understand and relate to Ethan Hawke.
There's truth in that.
There is truth in that. It sounds slime, or it sounds like I'm trying to say we should cut corners. I'm not, but there's truth in there. But I also relate to Ethan Hawke saying, "I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah,
I want to follow every letter of the thing because that's the right thing to do." And it's like, that's why Denzel got to the place he got, is because there's truth in that too.
Yeah, that's why how he got to be his boss.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't even know. That movie's deep, bro.
That movie's in there, bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's because it's like there's just one way. There's 1 degree of perfect, like, upward trajectory in life. There's 1 degree of that. And then it could be separated into 360 all the way around, and then separate that into the millionth degree. And it's like, you could be off just by a little bit. It's like the devil's trying to just cut you down, and sometimes you go all the way back to 180 when you do the wrong thing that you know you're not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
You just got me fucked up. That's so hard. I know, because we've been talking about it all episode, even within one. You were talking about cooking. It's like there's cooking, and then there's cooking within cooking. Or like,
the timing.
Yeah, you need everything to be timely, and you need it to be made in a way that had good timing. And that's like 1 degree and 360 degrees right under it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fucked up, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, doing that right perfect thing is like Ethan Hawke was stuck on that. Or not stuck on that, but yeah, that's where you're aligned with, what you're trying to align with, characteristically.
And that makes him a good guy. Like, he shouldn't really fold on that. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, you want him to win the whole time.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
I mean, it's tough. I don't want Denzel to die.
To a degree, yeah.
He's just so dope. He's so dope. He's fucking him, bro. Like, he's as him gets. Too much. too, like so much so. I think whenever he says in the movie, he's like, "I'm King Kong in this bitch." Like that's the line for me because I'm like, he is, like he literally is like beating his chest in front of everybody on top of like his mountain while all the planes are like shooting at him, and he's like, "You can't kill me," and he's like, "Right," but then like the very next thing that happens is like his karma kills him, and it's like,
yeah, spoiler alert again, but how's it happen?
So what had happened was is that like you find out
he gets pulled up on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Halfway through the movie, you find out that part of the premise for why everything is going down that day is because he needs to hit his lick that day because at midnight he has to be downtown with a mill, or he's gonna get greenlit, like they're gonna put a hit out on him, and the reason gonna have a hit on him is because he was in Las Vegas and he was getting mouthed off, like some Russian guy was talking shit to him. And so he just beats the shit out of him for talking shit to him and kills him on accident. Then that guy was a made dude in the Russian mob. And so the Russians are like, you owe $1 million tax, bitch. That's your tax for killing a made man. And like, you have connections, you have plugs or whatever. We don't want war or whatever. But you owe us $1 million or we're going to kill you back. And then the Denzel's people who he's connected to in his corruption hierarchy of corrupt money, what they do in their gang, say like, pay the $1 million. We can't protect you. We need you to take this deal. That's it. We're not gonna, if you don't pay the $1 million and they come after you, that's on you.
We can't stop them.
Nope. That's how it's going down. And then Denzel does his lick so that he can pay for his karmatic sins. It's like elusive. You don't even see that part happen. And
it all started with he was playing cards, you said? Or how did Denzel interact with this gentleman? The guy he killed on accident?
They were in a casino in Vegas.
He's playing cards?
They said that the guy started talking shit.
Oh, you don't see it? It just
it's literally just verbally said.
Oh,
so
okay,
like,
got it.
It's kind of cool that like it's literally just his karma. Like you don't even see it. It's just like part of his character. It's like, oh, he's got some karma that's like gonna kill him tonight.
He been cruised for a bruise, dog.
Yeah. So as much as like this guy is dope as fuck and literally like the cool like. I mean, he drives like this awesome Monte Carlo with like hydraulics. Everything he says is a bar. Like everywhere he goes, like the ladies love him and the dudes give him respect, even though they kind of hate him a little bit. And he's just like, click, clap, what you want? He's like literally like doing crazy shit with his like dual wheeled pistols. He's wearing the dopest fit you ever seen, and it's Denzel Washington. So like it's his juxtaposition, but his karma is he's gonna die.
That's just fact. Yeah. Acting or continually acting in the way that he's acting and then the character he's embodying is leading to his downfall.
Yes.
That's just what's happening with that character.
And it's so crazy. Yeah, he's always trying to, like, they're drinking everywhere they go. And every time the dude's like, no, I ain't trying to drink. And he's like, shut up, pussy. Drink this liquor. He's like, okay, fine. And it's just crazy because it's like, Ethan Hawke is consistently trying to be like, we don't do that. And then Denzel's like, we don't do that here, bro. And it's this full embodiment of like wrong choices almost, or whatever you'd call it, you know?
Yeah. I guess evil in a more simpler abstract lens, but just not ideal. Just being slime about it. Just slime about it. And I guess being too, I don't know, not paying enough respect to the higher, like to not have enough self-control to not beat that guy to death. You know what I'm saying?
As you say that, I'm like sourcing the movie in my own brain, and one of the lines that sticks out to me right now is there's a moment that sticks out where he goes into like the hood, and he's like basically like, yo, yeah, you don't ever come here alone, bro. Like, do you know about this place? He's like, yeah, this is blah 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 blah. He's like, yo, like I would say 40% of murders trace right back up into this cul-de-sac right here, and like. It's like a scary place, right? Like the Darklands.
That's the beyond the light where the light touches.
Right. And then they get out and there's like kind of respect. Like no one's like beating the shit out of them or anything. Like no one's like running up on them. And then he walks up to like a group of dudes and they're like, "Say man, it's good to see you, Lonzo. Appreciate you did for my cousin. That was some real ass shit. Like respect or whatever." And for a moment you're like, "Oh shit, he's like cool here." And then they walk past him and then the guys turn around and then he's like, "Man, fuck that dude. Can't stand that dude, bro. Like, fuck the way he is." And then there's another moment when that's like a black community, and then when they're in their house with like the Mexican gang, those guys, a similar interaction walks by, and he's like, when Denzel leaves, he's like, "Man, fuck Lonzo. Like that's why I never shake his hand because he don't respect anything. He's got no respect for anything."
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's what he embodies.
no respect for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to respect some things.
You have to respect something. There's things worth respecting, doing the right thing or whatever. Saving an innocent person. Saving an innocent person.
Damn, like almost literally. Got me fucked up, dude. That's deep as fuck.
Yeah, that movie's fucking tight.
So
we're like, you're dissecting Childish Gambino, dissecting fucking Training Day.
For real, dude. We're kind of going back. Those are throwbacks too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Training Day.
Yeah, listen to Camp like Friday had to be Friday.
So crazy, bro. Yeah, Friday, and I watched
Training Day last night on Saturday.
Training Day last night on Saturday. Yeah.
There's the trilogy, bang. Man.
Yeah.
We out here. It's crazy. Life's crazy, y'all. I'm sorry, but life is crazy as hell.
And also, just to speak on life is crazy as hell. Oh, we're deep in the psychosphere. I'm out here with y'all. This is Psychonaut 101.
Yeah, man.
To speak on Psychonaut stuff, also, it's crazy to me because I'm like, what? I had talked to you before the pod about how I feel like investing time into me and my dad's relationship right now, currently, would solve some other problems that would be harder to solve. It's not like I can just go chop a tree down or like perform an action to solve these bigger problems. But if I over time invest time into like my relationship with my dad right now, that'll solve those bigger. That is like it's almost like I need to take medicine for a couple months. I can't just like get a shot and get it out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so, like, with that being said, then I was successful. That's when Justin referenced like the trilogy that I was dealing with earlier today. It was like influence from my dad. And because I had been like investing in that relationship a little bit more, it was easier to call my dad and just like tell him, hey, like that thing you said like kind of happened, had me tripping. 2 things you said happened, had me tripping actually, Dad. Like I don't know, just was gonna call you and holler at you anyways. And then like Training Day is a movie that when me and my dad were cool, he showed me. I came up to his house and we were chilling, kicked back on the couch, had a couple drinks, which we don't normally do. And he's like, man, have you seen Training Day? And I'm like, nah, I have not. He's like, dude, Ethan Hawke, Denzel Washington, you haven't seen Training Day? Bruh. And then we like kick up the sofas, make some popcorn, turn the lights off, watch Training Day. And it's like a dope memory of me and my dad. And that's like how I saw that movie. And then I was kind of cool with my dad. I'd been talking to him on the phone. And I think maybe that's part of what made me want to watch it right then.
What drew it to you?
Yeah,
what drew you to it?
Right. And I didn't even think about that in that moment. But like, I was just like, I selected it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the algorithm thing that I'm talking about, like how things come into your sphere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
all the way
absolutely.
So that we could talk about it at this meta level right now.
That shit's wild, bro.
Wow, dude.
We hit the 4th dimension on that.
Yes, bro. Yeah, for real. That's how things be happening. I think
crazy.
Childish Gambino somehow trying to communicate that to us somehow through that album.
Mm-hmm,
like that's kind of what we're seeing in the mega vitamin sphere is those things kind of like, it's like I can't quite make out the picture, but now I'm seeing it more for what it really is. And it's kind of like, whoa, you know?
Yes, bro. It's crazy. The more info we get, the longer that we live, the longer that we have more time logged into this game. We're able to, there's so much, it's so deep, it's so rich. There's so much to sift through and to connect, so many dots to connect.
Yeah.
But we're so busy.
We're so busy. I think that's just part of, like, it's a cliche that the youth is wasted on the young. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I get older, I have so much more shit to do. And I finally understand enough about life to really enjoy it, but my fucking plate is so much fuller than back when I didn't really understand enough about life to really enjoy it like I could now.
Yeah,
you know?
And back then we had more energy and more free time.
Yeah, and I just didn't know what to
Maybe
appreciate.
more energy to a degree. We've been working out for a while. I guess like whenever you're like 60, that's definitely the case.
Yes, exactly. That cliche does reference upwards like that. But I think even at 30 or 40 years old, it's just hard to maximize your time. Like you just don't have as much leisure time. You have like obligations and responsibilities at a really high level.
Yeah,
you can't really put those down all the time. You know. Back in college, I got put down responsibility like this,
like a cup. I'm gone.
Going to the gym. See you guys in 4 hours. I'm gonna play ball all night for no reason. Yeah, I can't. It's just not the same, you know. Like a cup.
It's crazy, bro. Yes, man. That's fucking wild, and I love that. that's probably why that movie had spoke to so many people on such a level. And your dad was like, bro, you haven't seen this?
Yes.
You need to see this story. Watch this story play out, dog.
So right. Man, I thought we were watching Cops and Robbers because my dad and I like Bang Bang. We like John Wick. You know,
John shoot 'em ups.
Yeah. And I'm just now. I'm like, that movie is deep. My mom had told me about other stuff. She told me like Lord of the Rings is deep. That's way bigger than Fantasy Dragonland. And like once I comprehended stories were like that, I was like, that was kind of a precursor for me to appreciate art. Is like understanding. My mom was like, yeah, I love this. Watch it. It's cool, right? But this is way deeper.
That's what art is, or that's what appreciation of art comes from.
Right.
Sorry, what you're saying?
Just that. Just to reiterate that she was like expressing like this movie on the surface level, and then understand that I like this movie on a deeper level. And that's what I like, more or less what she thought good art was, or like stuff that she told me Harry Potter too, like deeper than Wizards and Wands.
Yes, like the Matrix, or motherfucking all that shit.
And Training
like a
Day
painting,
is just like that.
Yeah, I guess that kind of ties into the art that I was referring to, or like the ability to appreciate art at that level, where you're able to see surface level and the subsurface level. It's like apparent, like in movies, it's like a little bit more easy to see, but I think in music and in like music and paintings and sculptures and art like that, like physical, like visual art, just like strictly visual art, maybe, or I guess or strictly audio art. It's like there is that appreciation of that makes it art, right?
Yeah,
something that gives a picture deeper. If it's allowed to go deeper, then it's like, what do you find that in, or what is that within yourself? Everyone has that for whatever it is for them. Like we're all kind of feeling it out. Then some things we're like, oh, I could fall into this bitch. This is deep.
Yeah, that is what
I appreciate this.
Even on a subconscious level, the things that are critically acclaimed, which I think maybe not like always tied to popularity, but it seems to me like the Shawshank Redemption. Right? Why is that movie so fucking good? But I think
I love that movie.
A lot of people watch it one time and they're like, that movie's amazing. But you can't even
understand. Exactly what happened to me.
Right? Right? I get that feedback across the board.
Exactly what happened to me.
But I think that the ability for a movie to do that to someone on the first watch when they don't even really understand, you can't understand it because you're processing it, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can fall deep into something that is deep, but you can't necessarily fall deep into something that's not
it's just shallow. It's just surface level.
Right. And that's I just noticed that with like good books, good movies, good art, like the ones that get like millions of views are the ones that people are like, this is the shit right here.
It was so deep. It's so deep, anyone could just fall into it.
Right. Because it has depth.
Yeah.
Because it's got
art.
Yeah. And the part of what makes it art is that like you're telling something it's something people are going to end up relating to. It's like you're using like a lot of symbolism and metaphors and like deeper foreshadowing, and like you're telling a really true story that people are going to like resonate with, or they're going to like, when you're painting out someone to be a bad guy, the things that you're painting them out to be a bad guy with, like, might be, I don't know, man. It's like believable or not believable. And then if your writing is like believable enough the whole time, like people become like this really invested into this really, what makes it believable though?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's like if it's more true, or like
more true, or more likely, more realistic, more relatable. So I guess to a degree, I don't know though, but I see what you're saying, because you're the whole time you're watching a movie, you're just like waiting for the moment where you're like, nope, fuck this, dumb. I don't agree with how that went down. You're dumb.
Yeah, especially early in movies. When I was younger in movies, I'd be like, I hated how it ended. I hated how it ended.
Everyone loves being a critic.
Yeah,
for real. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, things are so deep though, because I think that same thing happened to me that you just referred to, like Shawshank Redemption. I remember seeing it being IMDb ranked #1 movie out of the top 200 or top 250, whatever the list is, and I was like, #1, huh? Shawshank Redemption. Never seen it. And then it was also my college roommate, his favorite movie of all time was Shawshank Redemption. And then I watched it years afterwards, or probably like maybe my senior year in college. And just, and instantly I was like, oh my God, this movie's fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. Favorite movie of all time.
Right. It's automatically in your top. Same thing. When I watched it, automatically in my top 5. First viewing, I was like, well, that's a fucking movie. I don't know what else, what you guys are making in Hollywood, but that's art.
For real. Yeah, bro. That's it. I haven't seen it since. So I'm sure if I watched it again, it would hit you on an even deeper level and like the same way. Because I hadn't seen Training Day. I've only seen it once. So then talking about it with you after you like just freshly watched it, like brought all of it, or not all of it, but a lot of the parts we were talking about back to me. And I was like, oh man, that movie is fucking deep. I couldn't catch any of that on my first go through.
Nah, watching it with my dad, I didn't really. What was I trying to? I guess I did take away that like evil will lose. Like if you rise to the top, but your metaphysics are gross and evil, you will fall for sure. You can't stand on that. Even if you're literally King Kong, you'll die. And I did draw that the first time, but I didn't draw like all of the back and forth with what's right or wrong. Like it's really written that way. Like they're just driving and it's like moment, what's the right or wrong thing? Moment, what's the right? He like at one point he tackles a crippled guy and puts him in cuffs, but like the crippled guy was like selling drugs, but maybe not. There's no drugs on him. He didn't have any drugs on him. Maybe he just like tackled this guy who wasn't even like you're like literally harassing someone. Then Denzel Washington takes his pen and puts it around his throat, makes him throw up, which is that right or wrong? Probably wrong, right? If you're a cop. And then he throws up a bunch of drugs.
Definitely at first glance, it looks wrong if you don't know what the fuck he's trying to do.
Right.
But if you're Denzel Washington, you know that what you're trying to do in this moment. You're trying to see if he swallowed any drugs, which you did.
Which you did. So was it wrong?
It's like, oh shit, I was wrong. That was right.
Yeah. And on top of that, now you wrestling...
Deeper levels. Sorry.
You wrestling with the crippled guy was the right thing to do now.
Yeah.
Even though on surface level, you just tackle the guy in a wheelchair.
You're following orders.
But also, what... Are you supposed to obey? It was against the cops, the code of the cops. You're not supposed to take. That's like harassment to like make someone throw up. You can't do that. Is that wrong? But it was the right thing to do, right? There's so many. It's like 6 or 7 levels in one scene. That's good writing. That's good art.
Yeah. Just fucking shout out Shawshank and Training Day.
Insane.
And then talk about it on the pod after you just watched it, and then the echoes with your dad, and then life is fucking crazy. Just try to do the right thing, y'all. I promise. It'll help your algorithm. I know it's cliche as hell, but come on, man.
Yeah, I guess I went on this whole diatribe because I was interested in trying to express the idea that we could control our experience a little bit. Mm-hmm. That whatever that influence we have on our algorithm can bring us more of what we actually want to see. And that...
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want, right?
Yeah.
And I think Training Day is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it was just nice to talk to you about there's deeper levels and layers to like everything, to like bring that back to how we need to interact with the algorithm. But maybe it's more so the actual bridge that I should connect is like, there's so many choices for right or wrong every single day. Like one scene can have 7 degrees of what's the right or wrong thing to do. Mm-hmm. And maybe navigating that, maybe like you do need to, I would never say this, but sometimes it feels like you do need to like find a way to
integrate
what would be cutting the corner or like not doing saying something's too small.
Church boy.
Yeah, church boy attitude, right?
Yeah.
You got it to really
blind, naive church boy attitude.
Yeah, that's not an ideal. Now when you come on, Jordan Peterson would say, what are we?
You're just going to church to go to church?
Come on, yeah. What are you doing there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fire, yes.
Person who won't contend with evil. I won't even look at it.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
And
it might be good, but it's not as good as it could be. Sorry, continue.
Because you have a snake in your heart. Like you do. Mm-hmm. You do have evil in your system.
Yes, and you have to recognize it. You have to be able to identify it at least.
Right. Yeah. And maybe integrate and incorporate your monster in a way that you're doing good with your monster. And maybe you're built to do that, actually. Maybe that's why it's there.
Yeah.
But being an ignorant church boy saying, I do no evil, first of all, it's a lie because you have the snake.
Being a sheep versus choosing to be a wolf and recognizing, oh, I am a fucking wolf.
Yes.
I have to be a wolf. If I'm not a wolf, I'm going to get eaten by the other big bad wolves.
Dude, and that's so crazy. You tied it for Training Day because Denzel tells the boy that he's got to be a wolf to catch a wolf. You must be a wolf to catch a wolf. And then he does become a wolf to catch a wolf.
Oh!
Ah.
Yes, but he can't be the church boy. He can't be a sheep.
And that's the last scene when he won't shoot him. He's like, you won't shoot me. Oh, he doesn't shoot him, though. He really just walks out. Regardless, though, he did have...
He had his karma coming anyway.
Maybe there's something about that, too. It's like, you don't have
I'll let God take care of him.
Yeah. And in the end, you shouldn't try to carry out justice yourself. But you do have to navigate all the channels. He did have to like pursue him, go after him, get the money back, deal out his say, what he thought was right. He did have to do what he thought was right.
Yes, man. So you had the ability to have your wolf or develop your wolf and use it for good. But that movie's so just, that's tight.
That's tight. Life's like that.
Life's like that.
You gotta live your day like that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. Navigate.
Every moment. That shit, man. You want to wrap up on that note, pretty beautiful people?
Man, for sure. I mean, I wish we could podcast for another 24 hours.
I know. We just started talking about, we just jumped in.
Yeah.
Sorry for the belated intro, y'all.
Not enough time.
Yeah, the waters are warm as always when we're rooting for you guys. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Try to interact with the algorithm. Or don't. That's what I'm doing, though.
Yeah.
That's what this episode was about.
Hell yeah,
I think you can interact with the algorithm.
Yeah, you have your maximum influence. I think maybe your maximum influence is enough. At least in my lens, you have an influence, and then if you maximize that, and then rest on, we talked about it last time, like God's plan, or like the fact that, like, yes, I have ultimate and complete control of everything. At the same time, I can control nothing. We're a speck on a rock in a fucking vast universe. So I'm like, I think God's got that under control, but I can control my day to day. I kind of have to. This is all me. Yeah. This is all me.
Yeah, true. You have to. Mm-hmm. You have to. Life's crazy.
It's crazy, y'all.
I love that about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And it's worth doing the right thing.
It's worth it. We'll holler at y'all next week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. I'm thankful for you guys.
Thankful for all of y'all. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.
Rolling through the city to the line.